Victoria. I didn't see any of these people when I was in Victoria.
Oh, come on.
I was meant to have 7 people joining in Victoria.
Oh, well, yeah, I was supposed to be at Finsbury Park. But,
right, okay.
With the rest of the services.
Right.
Sorry, it was easier.
Yeah, it was down to 7 people joining there.
Sorry to confuse things.
Anybody else joined at Victoria?
You've got one here as well, isn't it? How bad is I'll see you a bit later. Cheers.
Yeah. Well, if you get uncomfortable later, just let one of us know and I can get back. All right.
What time do we get into Kensington Olympia?
So we had to let them, but there's no pictures or anything. So did your family have money at that time?
Because you can't see anything, it's kind of the graphics that's
For 15 grand. That's 30 years of DI more.
There should be still field clever because
Now we can't fly, it's dry, which means stopping off at all lanes. Because we haven't had chemo, really shitty. 2-day drive, 2-day back, right now, making it worthwhile. Really, 10,
He's just gone down the other side of the city. That's what I'm saying. He comes back up on the other platform, I'm going all the way down. There we go. Broad in a midday.
And notice this
Bridge.
Yeah.
This young man.
Yeah.
you would notice
Because
Oh, right. Yeah.
don't want it, no?
I thought it had
Biscuit.
the song. One of the drivers was so shocked about this.
Oh yeah, because of the underground. Oh yeah.
There you go, route man.
No,
That's what you booked for.
you got no 45 leads. Get on and get your feet, spend it down in May, get them for your, give them for your birthday anniversary.
I mean, she's never so nice. Every time I come to London, every time I go to London, sorry, I'll go along.
Did I tell you about that? Whether we get charged or flag out the flag out the slip over at the side down the 25. It's on the M25, this bloke went down upstairs, digging the stairs. Yeah, running down the stairs. Pulled up on the slip boat. Yeah, it's not used. Yeah, but you can only shunt it. So it doesn't go up,
When you have to get the, let's have a look at the doors when we get the doors.
Of course, better.
No, they're not.
It's right. It's doing the 3-day thing at I can call it Monday.
Yes, it's where we do gambles.
I'm wondering if
And
Where should we go?
no, I don't know where wrong.
Yeah, we're going up.
I know what you want.
We'll do just in the script.
probably
What's the way you've got it?
Thank you very much. Well done. Any glass bottles, please?
Please do now have a good look around and make sure you've got all your belongings, and would like to take this opportunity to thank you for joining us today, and we wish you a very happy New Year. So Kensington Olympia in about 5 minutes time. Just a reminder that we are settling down at Finsbury Park a little bit later on if that connection works better for you. Thank you.
You'll come,